And we know we're...
I've been given the honor to do my grandfather's eulogy. So, Granddad, as I know him, Harold, Mr. Anderson, Mr. A, Uncle Harold, he goes by a lot of different monikers, but I know him as Granddad. So if I refer to Granddad, you'll know who I'm talking about. And Granddad loved Grandma. From the first date, when they went dancing. The way Granddad held Grandma in his arms, she knew this is where I wanted to be. This is where I belong. And the way he held her, metaphorically and figuratively, throughout those 68 years, is just the same. Just tight enough to feel safe and to feel loved. Years later, he still refers to her as my bride. Where's my bride? We gotta go. Where's my bride? We're getting the car. Get my bride. He loved his bride. And honestly, like Father Bill mentioned, the greatest generation, he was a true gentleman. Not only to Grandma, but to everybody in his life. Everybody who he met. He was always kind of looking out for them and was a man for others. We remember though, he was often and Grandma cooked wonderful meals. He never ever said anything bad about anything that she ever cooked. He ate everything all the time. He was quiet when he ate, especially at big dinners. We'd all be gathered around. He'd be eating, he'd be quiet, and he'd be eating away. After dinner, though, when the Drebui came out, maybe not so quiet. And he had a great sense of humor, too. You can attest, I'm sure you share stories, and I'll share a few later on, but he had a great sense of humor. He loved to make people laugh. God forbid you stood beside him in a group photo, because you would get a little undecided. What? What was that? Brenda, are you tickling me? No. Oh, you everybody smile. Smile, Granddad, smile. And then again, I get, oh, Granddad, you're tickling me. No, I'm not. Yes, you just tickled me. Oh, you're a teller of tall tales. That was one of the things he loved to say. He has a lot of different sayings out there. Teller of tall tales is one. All of the grandsons, I'm sure, were called at one point or another Sammy Davis. We didn't need to remember our names. Hey, well, how do you know Sammy Davis? My name's Lucas. Yeah, good to hear you, Sammy Davis. All the girls at one point, Sally Duboff. Of course, there were, more specific nicknames. My sister was Aaron Ski Bomber. Emma Lou, I love you. My name's Graham. My name is Emma, Granddad. Emma Lou, I love you. My name is Granddad. My name is Emma. Oh, you little joker. That was another one. Oh, you little joker. Anytime anybody would do something and tease him, and he'd be, you're a little joker. We were all the grandkids were little jokers. We all knew what he meant when he said he had to go visit Mrs. Murphy. The newspaper in hand, the Reader's Digest. Oh, gotta go see Mrs. Murphy. Gotta go visit Mrs. Murphy. If he wasn't feeling well, or if you weren't feeling well, he'd ask you if you're going to go see Dr. Ubiwell. All the docs with Dr. Ubiwell. If you didn't believe what you were saying, you were full of pea soup. He made pea soup, and we'll talk about that later. And anytime I fall down or hurt myself, so, oh, you fell on your keister for Easter. Well, you won't feel that on your wedding day. I stubbed my toe, I scraped my knee. Now, you won't feel that on your wedding day. My wedding day is 3 months or 3 weeks away, and I don't feel it now, and I probably won't feel it in 3 weeks. So, yeah, Granddad, you're right. I probably won't feel that scrape me on my wedding day. And I asked him, Grandma speaks French, and I asked him every once in a while. I grew up in Montreal, and I spoke French. And I would ask him, Granddad, do you speak French? Well, yeah, sure. Speak some French, Granddad. Comment est-ce qu'il écoute parler de la même chose? What? Comment si vous parlez la même chose? Granddad, that's not, it's kind, is it French? It's kind of some words in there. Comment si vous parlez la même chose? Granddad, what are you saying? Qu'est-ce que tu dis, Robinski? And of course, right you are! Granddad always said, right you are. He never admitted to it. He would always be like, Granddad, you said right you are. No, I don't. Granddad, you just said no. No, I never said that. No, you're telling our talk tales. I remember Andrew started picking up on it. So I was maybe, I don't know, 16 or 17. Andrew was around maybe 7 or 8. And Andrew started noticing, Granddad says, right you are. I said, yes, Andrew, okay. What I need you to do is I need you, because I was visiting Calvin, I need you to remember this. Granddad says, right you are. So when he says it, he won't be expecting it from you. He'll expect it from me. He'll deny it if I say it. But I want you to say, gotcha, Granddad, you said right you are. And sure enough, it didn't take too long. Andrew, blah, 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 something, right you are. Granddad, he said right you are. Oh, I think he was caught. I think you caught him. You caught him off guard. And he may have said right you are, or he may have said, oh, you little joker, or something like that. Another thing that I noticed, and this is something that I've never seen anybody else do, but he did it all the time. He'd pour salt into his hand, and he would tap salt. That was a Granddad thing for sure. And I remember getting up early in the morning, visiting Calgary, or he would be visiting Montreal. 5:30 in the morning he was up. Why he was up at 5:30 in the morning, I don't know. But he was up, no lights on except a little light above the stove, and he was stirring his oatmeal. Stirring his porridge every morning. If it wasn't porridge, it was Red River cereal. But every morning, have some porridge. Porridge in the morning. Oh, it's good for you. Let's hair in your chest. I don't know what happened. Full head of hair. Not so much on the chest, not so much on the legs. But that head of hair, boy, did he love having it brushed. And he would pay Colleen or Teresa or my mom 1 penny per minute for brushing their hair, or brushing his hair. And Meryl remembers also doing that. Where's Meryl? Meryl also remembers doing that. So that's the tradition that kept going on. Brushing his hair. I also remember the sense of humor. He was a joker himself. Though he would say, "Oh, you're a little joker." He was the joker. I remember he found like, because it was when I wasn't, I was young. I would get up and I'd see him making the oatmeal. As I grew up, I didn't get up as early anymore. 12, 13, 14 years, I'd sleep in a little bit, and he inevitably would want me to wake up and, time to start the day. He found my kazoo. And my mother said, "All right, Dad, why don't you go wake Lucas up?" He said, "Okay, I got this kazoo." He'd come running down the hall, open the door, with the kazoo in his mouth, and close the door. And walk down the hallway again. What time is it? I didn't wake up 5 minutes go by, 10 minutes go by. Open the door. Close the door. Go back down the hallway again. Eventually I got it. But that's the kind of stuff, that's the kind of humor, that's the kind of playful spirit that Granddad was. He also loved the sun. He loved sitting outside on his chair, on his deck chair, on a lawn chair, lounge chair, outside in the sun, sitting there, tanning, often falling asleep in the sun. He never got sunburned. I don't know why. He never ever got sunburned. He just got darker and darker and darker. He loved television as well, loved TV. He loved Survivor, he loved Big Brother, he loved Jeopardy, he loved Seinfeld. It's Seinfeld, man. Yeah, Seinfeld, quick show. And Perry Mason. He loved MASH. I remember Grandma was upstairs, would be upstairs cleaning up dishes or whatever after dinner. The MASH credits would come on. And when those nurses started running from the helicopter, he'd shut up, "Mother, the girls!" Which would give you enough time to finish what you were doing, come downstairs to start watching MASH. Christmas specials. Claire remembers watching The Grinch with him. He always had all kinds of stuff on video. He would take stuff for Mitchell and for Emma when they were away. Mitchell would come back and watch hours and hours and hours of Yo-Joe. G.I. Joe. That's what Mitchell called it at the time. Hours and hours of G.I. Joe. There was Sesame Street that was taped when the kids, grandkids, Oberhoffers and the Shepherds were away in Libya, and Saudi Arabia, he would tape stuff, tape, all kinds of stuff, all the time, so that there was something for them to watch when he got home, or from when they got home. And it was pretty impressive, the collection that he had. And there was always something special for us to watch, even if it was Mississippi Burning. Mary comes down, she's about 8 years old. Granddad, let's watch something together on TV. What do you want to watch? I don't know, anything. Puts on Mississippi Burning. Nancy Colleen comes down. Dad, what is this? What's girl watching? What are you got for her? Well, she said put anything on. And Meryl was actually was into it. It's a good movie, great movie. We remember eating chips and cheese dip behind the bar. You get the bar. There's a bar in Ottawa, I think, too, wasn't there? Down around the corner. There always seemed to be a bar at their house. Whether it was in Ottawa, whether it was Queensland. What is that?
Talking about the bars.
Oh yeah, it's great. We get older, we have a beer with Granddad. You get the cheese dip out and the chips and the cheese dip. We'd always have the cheese dip from the bar. It was a great time. And even though his love for television was strong, he also loved mapping, and those two often came in conflict. We put on something, we start watching, and inevitably, Granddad, are you still watching? Yeah, just resting my eyes. He loved sports. He loved the bowling, darts, played softball, but especially golf. Loved golf. And I remember golfing with Uncle Brendan and Andrew and Granddad and myself, and they were pretty competitive at the time. I don't know if they still are competitive, but they were pretty competitive at the time. Andrew and I, not seasoned golfers, we knew how to golf, we golfed okay. They were very kind to us when we golfed, but Granddad loved to golf. And even up to about a year or two ago, Don and him would still go out and go golfing every Tuesday. And that is something that was really special. I remember Brandon really liking golf and really looking forward to those Tuesdays with Don and going golfing. He loved his grandkids. He loved his kids, Colleen and Teresa and my mom. But he really did love his grandkids as well. And and the love of sports would come in with that love of his grandkids. And all the different activities that we do. Kern, Kevin, myself played hockey. He would come and watch us play hockey. Andrew was in a lot of plays, and he'd be coming to the plays. Claire's wrestling, Meryl and Nora's softball, eating peanuts in his lawn chair with Grandma. And Emma and Mitchell, when they played basketball, he would go and they would be right there on the sidelines cheering us on. And he also really knew us. He knew us really well. He knew how to kind of speak to us and get us to kind of make decisions for ourselves with his help. One story was, Nora was telling me about how she wasn't sure whether she wanted to be a nurse or wanted to be a teacher. And Granddad sat her down and said, look, there are lots of teachers in our family, and that's a wonderful profession, but there are no nurses. And though I'm sure you would make a great teacher, you're in the nursing program. Give it 4 months. If you don't like it at the end of 4 months, you can change it, you can switch it, no problem. But give it 4 months. And I guarantee that you will love it, and you will be the best nurse out there. And Nora, are you a nurse? Yes. Right you are. He loved spending time with us grandkids, teaching us card games. Claire was talking about how he would teach, Emma was talking about how he would teach you guys play hearts. And it came up at one point, do you have the Queen of Spades? No. Do you have the Queen of Spades? No. Granted, do you have no? Well, that was the end of that. so as much as he tried to teach us how to play, he would sometimes say, well, you know what? Don't worry about it. We'll do something else. Playing Crazy Eights, reading stories. I've had a great time. A memory of Granddad reading stories from time to time. Claire got a coloring book for Christmas one time and would love to color in that Christmas book, but she only wanted to color the Christmas trees, so she and Granddad flipped the pages, just looking for Christmas trees, and together they would color the Christmas trees. He'd set up the backyard slip and slide in the backyard at Queensland every summer, take us almost anywhere we wanted to go, whether it was the wave pool, whether it was the family leisure center, whether it was to the park, just even going to the park, taking Aaron and me to the Ottawa X and walking through the barns, and Aaron and I just holding our noses going, "Grandad, it's stinky in here." "Oh, that's fresh air. Oh, smell that fresh air. The horses, the barns, the manure. Ah, fresh air." He loved horses. He loved horses. We'd say sometimes, "Hey, let's go see a movie, Granddad." "All right, we're going to the theater. We're going to watch a movie." And what was the movie we went to go see? We went to go see Far Lap, which is a movie about a racehorse. And as a 7 or 8-year-old kid, I was like, a horse movie? Granddad loved horses, and we went to see that movie. It was actually a pretty good movie. But horses, he loved Spruce Meadows, and he really was glad when Aaron started to take up equestrian and start riding. So he was glad. I don't think he ever got a chance to.
You did see her.
Oh, did he?
Sarge up here.
Yes, he came up. Awesome. He had many talents. The pea soup. You're full of pea soup, right? Yeah? And, oh, you're full of pea soup. He made pea soup with the ham bone. Took the ham bone. I said, "Granddad, what are you doing with that ham bone?" "Well, I'm making pea soup." "You made pea soup, Granddad?" "Yeah, I can make pea soup." I had no idea he made pea soup. Teresa, a few years later, gave him a bread maker. And then, all right, he's retired, so he's keeping up. He's reinventing himself. Bread making. And he became obsessed with making bread. And he made some pretty good bread. Different recipes. This recipe over here, a rye bread here, a whole wheat bread, a pumpernickel, and he would make bread. He loved woodworking, working with his hands and painting. That was, again, later in his life. He would make all kinds of figurines and benches and plaques and paint animals on them, horses sometimes even. And this is something that I think everybody in the family has at least one thing of Granddad that he made for them, whether it's a figurine or whether it's a plaque or something. And the puzzles on the table. I mean, whether it was in Ottawa or Calgary, there was almost always a puzzle on the table. And he'd be standing there over the puzzle, looking around. He loved standing, and this is something I noticed with some other people of the generation, that he loved standing with his hands behind his back. Yeah, oh, that's good. Oh, we got a piece. Then he put it in a piece. Puzzles all the time. And an adventurous spirit. He was a very, very adventurous guy. Like I said, "Granddad, can you take us to the park?" "Yeah." "Granddad, can you take us here?" "Yeah." "Granddad, can you go down this water slide?" "Yes, I'll go down the water slide." And he went down that water slide, and he flipped, and he went up in the air. Keister for Easter. Butt and back first into the water, and everybody held their breath. And then he sort of, there's a picture of that somewhere floating around. But again, Granddad, you say, "Granddad, can you do this?" "Yes." "Granddad, can you do that?" "Yes." And "Granddad, can we go shopping? Can we go to Zeller's?" "Yes." And he loved the deal. And he would find deals. "These shoes are 60% off. Plus I got a scratch and save, 30% off. Plus a senior discount, 10% off. Regular price, $60. I paid $3. But Granddad, do you need a new pair of shoes?" "No, but they were $3. So that was Granddad. That's just kind of a very small snippet of who Granddad was for me, for many of us. And on Friday when he passed away, I know that my mom and my sister were out there as the welcoming committee. My mom loved giving tours of her house, tours of what she was familiar with. So she was there, she had the tour, she was the tour guide. Aaron was there, she said, "Granddad, I gotta show you this. Granddad, I'm gonna show you this. Granddad, look at this over here. Granddad, horses." Uncle Donald was up there. I'm sure he had a list of all kinds of things that they could do and they could pal around together again. And I know Uncle Pat had an 8 a.m. tea time for them on Saturday morning. So in closing, I'd just like to say a quick prayer. Thank you, Lord, for gifting us with the adventurous spirit that was Granddad. We are grateful for having him in our lives and for him being an example of how we can be and how we can be for others and how we can be for the people who we love, because we know that he loved us all so much. Look out for him. Look out for yourself too if you're sitting beside him in a group photo, because he's going to tickle you. and thank you, and we're just very, very, very blessed to have had him for as long as we did. In the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.